Hello, everyone. Welcome to FREEWrite Friday. My name is Jessica Lynn Johnson, for those of you who don't know me, and I am the founder of Soaring Solo Studios, which is a company that is dedicated to the direction, development, and producing coaching of solo theater. And I get to work alongside my fellow award-winning solo theater director and coach and performer, Heather Dowling. And we work with people all over the globe. And I personally have been in this field for about 25 years at this point and have developed about 200 solo shows and produced hundreds. It's certainly my passion. I toured for over 13 years with my own solo shows. My first solo show was called Oblivious to Everyone. And my second solo show is called Z. I'm also a director and teaching artist with the LA Women's Theater Festival. I'll be doing a free class with them in March, so keep your eye out for that email. I'm also a blogger for the NoHo Arts website. That's NoHo as in North Hollywood Arts website. And it's a really wonderful hub for all things theatrical in Los Angeles. My blog is called Soaring Solo. And I send that out in my email blast once a month when that comes out. So be on the lookout for that as well. That's a little bit about me. I'd love to hear from you. Please say hi in the chat. Let me know where geographically you're tuning in from and maybe where you're at in your solo theater journey. Maybe you're dabbling and just curious. Maybe you're already touring with a solo show, have some ideas written down. Maybe you're at the end of your first draft. Wherever you're at is perfect. And hopefully today will be of service to you in one way or another. But yes, I'd love to hear from you in the chat. And for those of you who've been to my free Saturday class, this is quite different from that. My Saturday class is very interactive. It's about a 90-minute free session where I lead you through a writing prompt and then people share what they've written. Today is really about 15 to 20 minutes. I just give you a writing prompt and I notify you of different things going on in the community, some announcements, and that's it. It's short and sweet and hopefully powerful. And if you miss any Free Write Fridays, I put them all on my YouTube channel. So if you look up Soaring Solo Studios on YouTube, you'll find hundreds of videos of free content to help you along on your solo journey. Okay, so today we are focusing on the love interest in a solo show. So a lot of times solo shows are autobiographical, so this love interest will be your personal love interest. But sometimes in solo shows, we're doing a biographical piece or a completely fiction fantasy piece. Like one of my clients, Shelley, is working on a one-woman show about Emily Dickinson right now and talking about some of her lovers and her love interests. But obviously, that's not Shelley's personal experience, even though maybe she can relate to some aspects of that. So when we're thinking of the love interest in our solo show, I want you to be thinking about things that are requited or unrequited, and how this person impacts the protagonist, which again, most likely is you, but whoever the protagonist of your solo show is, how does this love interest impact? Do they bring joy and growth and positive change? Is this love interest a relationship that brings pain or addiction or discord? Um, and I'm going to give you some examples from the Soaring Solo community of how people have utilized a love interest in their life to further the development of their solo shows. So I worked for a couple of years on a one-man show called There's Something Seriously Wrong with Cyrus. It's a coming out story. Um, Cyrus is Persian and Indian, born to immigrant parents and gay. And so it's all about him coming out and finding his authentic self as a gay Indian and Persian man, and with, I would say, less than accepting parents. And so the love interests in his solo show are really useful as characters to help him discover his own authentic orientation and self-expression, and also the challenges of having these feelings that are dissonant from what's happening societally and in his family. So love interests were very, very important to the plot points in his show. And then there's the show Breakup Addict, which I had the pleasure of working with Paige Wilhide on that. And Breakup Addict was all about Paige's journey with love addiction, love and sex addiction. And so the love interests in her show were really a means to explore her addiction and her unhealth or dis-ease, and eventually leading us to some childhood traumas that were the cause of her love addiction. And then there's the show Shattered, which I worked on with Diana Varco. It's been going for, I want to say, like 6 or 7 years now. And Diana's show is about sexual trauma and being the victim of a rape and other sexual assaults. And so the love interest that came into her life before and after that, it shows who she was in relationship before this terrible incident and who she was after and the healing journey. So the love interest kind of serve as touchstones for who she is and how she was impacted by this traumatic event. So those are a few examples. And as I mentioned, my client Shelley Cooper, who's does a lot of her historical solo shows, and her current one is about Emily Dickinson. We just premiered a 30-minute version of it. It will be extended to 60 minutes, and she looks at Emily's relationship with men, but also her love interest Sue, with a woman, which at that time obviously was not the societal norm. So as you can see, there's lots of different ways to use the love interest in your life in your solo show. You know, they can be a secondary character, they can be just a character that's, you know, barely mentioned, or they might be a very, very important core character to the show. So I'm going to give you about 8 minutes, and I would love for you to just write freely. Just let yourself have a messy first draft about who comes to mind for you. Maybe this is one person or several. And the memories that come up, the feelings that come up, and just allow yourself to explore how a love interest might be part of your solo show story. Okay, I will let you know when your 8 minutes are up. If you have any questions, you can just send me a direct message in the chat. Thanks, everyone. A little over 4 minutes left. Just over a minute left. Okay, we are at time, so go ahead and wrap up your writing. Hopefully, you found something interesting in the content that you created about love interests. And I want you to remember that with solo theater, the content doesn't just have to be a first-person monologue from your point of view. There's a lot of different ways to create content for your solo show, and you can feel free to write poetry or original songs, maybe do a dance inspired by the themes of your solo show. um, you could portray a character and tell the story from their point of view. You could play an inanimate object or even a feeling itself. So in this case, you could portray the feeling of love as a character. Diana, who I mentioned earlier, personifies a bunch of feelings in her show, and one of the characters is called Love Bug, and it does represent her love life. So that's just an example of some outside of the box ways you can approach this content. You even perform a multi-character scene, and in solo theater, you would be portraying all of those different characters or create multimedia based on the themes of your show. So there's a lot of different ways to tell your story these days in solo shows, and I really encourage see as much solo theater as you can, whether it's live or recordings. You know, I have solo shows from the Soaring Solo community that are available to rent. So if you're ever interested in that, email me. Um, and yeah, the more you see, the more you'll know about what's possible. So let's move into announcements really quickly, and then we're going to wrap up. And if you have any further questions, you can email me at soaringsoloartist@gmail.com about anything we talked about today or anything we didn't talk about today. So feel free to email me questions. Let's see. So the first announcement, my next free 90-minute class, The Art of Creating the One-Person Show, is happening on Saturday, February 28th. That's at 10 a.m. Pacific, noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Just sign up under free stuff on my website and you'll get the Zoom link. If you wanted to work with me or Heather in a more professional capacity, the best place to start is with an initial consultation. That's an hour on Zoom for $69. And we do a big deep dive into your goals, into any writing samples you have, or if you don't have writing samples yet, we brainstorm with you to create that content and set some goals and set forth a powerful trajectory for your solo show career. No pressure with that, just letting you know that that's an option. You may also consider being a part of our Revealed virtual reading series. We do those monthly, and we co-produce the event with you. And basically, you do a reading of your solo show virtually on Zoom to a virtual audience. And then we have a Q&A afterwards, a talk back with the virtual audience to see what's working or what's not working with your solo show. And so we coordinate a date and time that works for both parties, and we get that up and get you some great feedback to improve your solo show script before you go through all the trouble of memorizing and staging and producing it. So again, you can email me for more information about any of these things. And then if you enjoyed today and you want to come back, the next FREEWrite Friday is happening March 13th at 2:30 Pacific, 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern. Just sign up the exact same way you did today on the website and get the Zoom link. I also included my YouTube channel in this chat, so you can visit the YouTube channel and see hundreds of free videos about solo theater. And I'm a huge fan of the festival market. I think it's really, really valuable as a solo artist to get involved in the festivals, both solo specific festivals, but also just theater or art festivals, and build those accolades, get yourself exposure to different audiences, reviews, both from actual theater critics as well as audience testimonials, and just build up your resume as a solo artist. So then you can eventually monetize your solo work if that's a goal of yours, but you got to get those credits and accolades first. So I listed a few in the chat, but just some to think about. The 30 Minutes or Less Festival, which just happened in January. In Hollywood, there's the Binge Fringe Festival at the Santa Monica Playhouse. That typically happens in the fall, taking submissions in the summer. The New York Fringe Festival, which I believe is called Frigid Festival now. The Orlando Fringe Festival. United Solo in New York City on 42nd Street, which is the largest solo theater festival in the world. Edinburgh Fringe Festival, the largest theater festival in the world. Philly Fringe, Hollywood Fringe. The LA Women's Theater Festival, which I mentioned earlier. And then I also produce a festival typically in the fall and in the winter with Heather called the Soaring Solo Stars series. So if you have questions about any of those, you can pop me an email. But that's a really, really great way to have deadlines and all of that. Okay, and then we have solo labs. I put the link to, we have a solo lab today. I cannot recommend this highly enough. It's with Regina Douglas Whitman. It's today at 12:30 Pacific, 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern, and it is on Zoom. You still have time to sign up on Eventbrite. I put the link in the chat, and she's going to be talking about marketing and also incorporating multimedia into your solo show. She had a tremendous amount of original music and multimedia pictures, videos, all of that, as well as storytelling and things like that, and website development. So Regina did phenomenal at the Hollywood Fringe Festival this last year with her first solo show. So she's going to strategize with the participants and talk about how she did so well in her journey and help you to do that. And it's only $29. And if you can't be there today, but you want to buy it and get the replay, that's fine. Just sign up and I will make sure you get the replay of it. And let's see what else. And then if you're in LA, tomorrow we have our in-person solo show class with Heather, my associate, and it's called Solo Up. So you just get up on your feet, you can improv, you can bring an excerpt, do a character monologue, work with Heather to find content, and just meet other people in the community. So that's either $49 each week if you do both, or if you just do one, it's $59, and you can also sign up on Eventbrite. So that is everything. I really appreciate all of you joining me today. I'm going to hop off, but I will leave the chat up for a little while longer in case you're taking notes. And again, feel free to email me with any thoughts or questions. Thank you so much, everyone.